Okay, I'm reloaded. This is Big Dappuccino here. The channel is Deja View Royalty Diecast Garage. And we're going to get into part three of a three-part series that I was doing. Because I usually do a car show around my birthday month. So other things went on. So it lasted a little bit longer than I wanted to as far as gap between the videos. But let's go. This is going to be Eurofleet 2025. And what we have on the turntable right now is what I call the daily driver. Uh, like I tried to explain before in the other videos, daily driver is usually an inline 6 or an inline 4 or V6 or maybe hybrid. At this point, might be electric. Something good on gas, get you around a little space. But in this case, what we have is the 2019 Mercedes-Benz A-Class that debuted in Factory Fresh 2019. It is a Hot Wheels casting, like I probably have mentioned. Designed by Rio Asada, the late great. This is the first color variation in polar white. Has detailed headlights and tail lights. A German license plate. It has a black plastic base. Even though it has a German license plate, I think it is still a left-hand drive. Yeah, it looks like a left-hand drive to me. I don't think it's a right-hand drive. Yeah, steering wheel's on the left side. The smoke tint windows, black interior, black PR5 wheels. Produced from 2019 to 2022, unfortunately. There's a 2.0 liter inline four engine in real life. That produces 190 to 220 horsepower because you can get an option for a turbocharger. It has a 7-speed automatic transmission. It comes in front or all-wheel drive. I guess if you go towards the more high-performance option, you get the all-wheel drive and like I said before, the turbocharger. In real life, it weighs 3,280 pounds to 3,420 pounds. Has a 0 to 60, I should say had, in 6.1 seconds. Estimated top speed of 130 miles per hour. This vehicle is more about functionality and practicality and versatility than top speed performance. And it has passenger and cargo space for running errands and getting back forth to work. So, and if you need to drop off the kids or the wife, you know, during your daily commute, it can do that too. So I think it's a pretty cool vehicle. I think they still make an A class, but they just changed the body style. Next, what we have is the Range Rover Velar, I should say. And this is going to be what I call the workhorse. And basically, the workhorse is the secondary car. It might be driven as a daily driver by maybe the other adult in the household if y'all have kids, or maybe the secondary car. when you have more tasks where you need more space or you need more cargo room, I should say. And like I said, this is 2019 model year variation of the Range Rover Velar. Another Hot Wheels casting, debuted in factory fresh. Uh, 2019, designed by Dmitry Shakhmatov. This is the first color variation in metal flake silver. It has detailed headlights and taillights, grille and side trim. It has a black plastic base. Tinted windows, light gray interior, 10 SP wheels, 2-liter gasoline or diesel, inline 4 engine. Oh, it also had a 3-liter V6 option too. That came with a supercharger. It had a 8-speed automatic transmission, and depending on the variation, I guess the engine variation, you get 340 to 380 horsepower. It had a 0 to 60, 6.4 to 5.3 seconds. Again, depending on engine variation, and a weight of 4,220 to 4,470 pounds. Estimated top speed 135 to 160, again, depending on the engine variation. It has ultimate passenger room and cargo space. Well, I shouldn't say ultimate, but it has a lot of cargo space. I should say passenger room. And I think it also has a Panamera roof. And it looks like it. Range Rover is pretty sharp. Pretty sharp. Next, what we have is what I call the flagship. And basically what the flagship is, this is your vehicle that you basically use when you're going to family events, maybe even functions with the whole family. Maybe you flex around a little bit. And I use the unorthodox choice. Use the 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo S. So apparently, family I'm doing, they got a little bit of money. You figure they got a 2-car garage. Maybe you can fit 2 cars in the driveway. Maybe 2 cars in the 2 cars in the driveway. 2 cars in the garage. Maybe 2 or 3 cars on the street. Maybe they have a car in the backyard too, so which I'll say later on. This, like I said, is 2020 Porsche Taycan Turbo S. Again, another Hot Wheels casting. Debuted in 2021 HW green. Speed, first color variation, metal flake, carmine red, designed by Phil Rowman. Detailed headlights and taillights, Turbo S on the license plate, black plastic base. We got smoke tint windows, black interior, chrome trimmed black OH5 wheels. This casting was intended to be released originally with the HWID Series 2 line. I guess, yeah. It was originally supposed to be part of the HWID Series Volume 2, I guess, or Series 2 lineup. Remember that? Where the interactive online thing they had, and they had exclusives, I guess. Well, basically chase cars in the Hot Wheels main line with the little chip underneath. Yeah. Of course, that didn't work out. Unfortunately, the COVID-19 pandemic delayed the release of this particular release of the chase model. But the original mainline variation came out the next year. This is the high performance version of the four-door Porsche dual electric motor car that had 600 horsepower, has 0 to 60 3.3 seconds, estimated top speed of 160 miles per hour. I know it's an unorthodox choice for a four-door sedan, intended for family-related events. Basically show off, Pretty cool. Could have went with a Benz or a BMW or something like that. I decided to do different. Next, what we have is what I call the weekend car. And this is going to be, let me do some adjusting here. This is going to be the 2020 Jaguar F-Type. They debuted in factory fresh again, another Hot Wheels casting. 2021 when it debuted, designed by Rio Asada, the late great. Metal flake velocity blue, detailed headlights and taillights, black plastic base. Sorry, folks, I was doing a little cleaning earlier and I realized I had something on my hands. Going peeling. My skin's peeling, but we're gonna move on. Black plastic base, smoke tint windows, black interior, 10 SP wheels. This particular casting is supposed to represent the high performance variation of the car with a supercharged 5-liter V8 and the 8-speed automatic transmission with over 500 horsepower. Has 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds and an estimated top speed of 200 miles per hour. Not bad for the sedan. It looked like it probably weighed closer to 4,000 pounds than it did 3,000. So I don't know if this is still in play to this day. Because a lot of people are changing up and going to hybrids and all electric cars. So last but not least, what we have is what I call the project car. And this is an option because, like I said, even if you have a 2-car garage, man, average person can only, as far as I know, probably 3 cars. You got a driveway, 2 cars. 2 cars if you park on the street, at where I'm at. But if you got a driveway, you could probably swing 3 cars because you can park 2 in the driveway or 2 on the street and 1 in the driveway or something like that. But if you got a 2-car garage, you probably can swing 4. Maybe if you got ability to drive, like I said, you have a driveway. But if you have how can I say? If you have space in your backyard, you probably put this in the backyard under a car liner or something. A car, what do you call a car cover? This is what we call a project car. This is a 1963 Austin Healey 3000 Mark II. and this is the lone Matchbox casting that we have in this showcase. Debuted in mainline MBX Road Trip 2018. This is a 157 true scale, first color variation red, detailed trim, gray plastic base. Blue tint windows, brown interior, classic two-seater with a twin carbureted 3-liter inline 6 engine, 4-speed manual transmission producing 140 horsepower. Has a 0 to 60 in 10.9 seconds. Estimated top speed of 120 miles per hour. But this, your classic European Roadster, is more about the touring experience. Take your time and, smell the flowers, classy, not too flashy. And from what I hear, they're pretty inexpensive to get if you have the resources and the patience to have them restored properly, because they have a unique older mechanical, thing going on. You have to have someone who's trained to work on these bad boys. I forgot what they have under the hood. I think it may be something like a flat 4 or flat 6. And that's pretty much it for Euro Fleet 2025. Just doing something different with the content. Sometimes you get tired of just doing, I do showcase videos to break up the monotony of just doing stuff. I'll show you that I purchased in the packaging, then taking them out of the packaging and talking about them. That's why I also do the research, not just to talk about the chases and stuff, but to highlight the designers. And after Rio Sada passed away, and then Jun May left, and people didn't know why. It's a couple of designers who just left, either Hot Wheels or Matchbox. They went to work for somewhere else. Some of them, they went to do something else because they're very underappreciated. The only one who's pretty much appreciated is Rio Sada, of course. He was always being, because of Japanese historics, and Jun May for the same reason, but because he helped, do so much with Hot Wheels Premium. But he went on to form Kato House, and he's doing extraordinary things. Of course, Larry Wood is a legend. He really worked. I think he worked for either General Motors. I think he worked for General Motors before he started working for Hot Wheels. I think in the late 60s, early 70s, around that time. But yeah, I want to thank the subscribers for holding me down. I also want to thank brand new viewers who happen upon this channel. Hope you decide to hit the subscription notification button. Leave a like or dislike behind. Leave a feedback behind. A comment. It's always good to get feedback. And until the next time, peace and blessings. This is Big Dappuccino signing out. The name of the channel is Deja Vu, also known as the Royalty Diecast Garage.